Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some blueberry hand pies. Now, usually I would use my own puff pastry, and I have some in the freezer, but I thought that for this recipe I would buy some ready rolled puff pastry from the supermarket and try that, so that people can see just how easy it is to put these pies together without having to go through making the puff pastry. However, I will put a link below the video where you can see one of my recipes where I actually go through the process of making puff pastry if you want to do that for yourself. So what I have here is a 320 gram sheet of puff pastry, and it is actually about 35 centimeters by about 23, 24 centimeters. And what I'm going to do is cut that into 6 pieces and have 3 pies. Then I'm going to actually, I have 2 more sheets and I'm going to make some smaller ones, and I'll go through that process to explain how you can do that. So for these, I have the puff pastry, then I have here 112 grams of wild blueberry conserve or jam, and I have 150 grams of blueberries, frozen blueberries. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the conserve or the jam into the blueberries and just stir it around to mix it. So they get coated. And I also have 25 grams of demerara sugar ready to sprinkle over the top, and I've lightly beaten 1 egg for the egg wash as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut our pastry, and what I'm going to do first of all is cut it about 11 centimeters across. And then I'm going to mark (11) again. And just cut them down like that. It doesn't matter if it's a bit big, we'll trim them at the end. And I think, yes, this one, you could make it larger. You can make them whatever size you like. If you can't get pastry of the same size of this, whatever size you get, you can cut them to the pies to whatever you want. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the blueberry and put it into each pie like that. And then I'm simply going to take my egg and brush all the edges. Now I have the oven preheating at 200 Celsius, 180 Celsius with a fan, 400 Fahrenheit. So it will be ready to take the pies as soon as they're completed. So the next thing to do is to pull off. In fact, maybe we'll roll them over like that. I think we can do it like that. And then we press down like that, and we're going to transfer them to a baking sheet. So I have my baking sheet here. And then I'm going to take a fork and press the edges together. And having pressed the edges, I'm then going to brush the pies with more egg. And having brushed the pies, I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to make 3 slits in each pie. Like that. I'm going to take some demerara sugar and just sprinkle it over the top of each one. And I'm going to bake these in the oven for 25 minutes until they've puffed up nicely. So I'll put these into the oven, and I'll set up and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the other 2 rolls of pastry. So for the next one, I'm actually going to make little individual bites, and I've actually used a tool like this to roughly mark out the spacing, but you can simply lightly score some squares, and then we're going to put just a little bit of blueberry and conserve into each one. What I'm going to do is just brush that up if I can. So the next thing I'm going to do is to egg wash all round and between . And then I'm going to put another roll of pastry on the top. Now with this one, I'm actually going to just take my rolling pin and roll it a little bit more. And then I'm going to place this over and peel it off like that, and I'm going to just press it in a little bit like that. Take my template and press right the way down. Now, if you don't have a template, you would simply use your pizza wheel or something, or a knife, and cut through. And then we pull the template back up. So I have mine off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush these again. I've got blueberry on my brush. And then, as with the other ones, just sprinkle some demerara sugar over each of them. And they're ready to go into the oven to bake. Again, I would say for about 20 to 25 minutes until they've puffed up and got a nice golden brown. So that's it. I will put these in the oven and then I'll come back and show you the results of the larger ones and these when they're fully baked. Right, so I'm back with you, and I've baked our blueberry hand pies and the mini versions as well, and they've turned out quite nicely, but very simple because the puff pastry was already made. And so I'll just have a bite. Puff pastry's puffed up nicely, nice and light, and that lovely sweet blueberry filling inside. These are perfect, I think. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be a link to this recipe, and I will also put a link below the video, and I will be back with you with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.